Thierry DE MONTBRIAL, you are the president and founder of IFRI and the president and founder of the World Policy Conference. So first of all, congratulations on what I think has been an excellent conference. Now, I found it excellent, but how did you find it?
Frankly speaking, I also think it was an excellent conference. I think this is, in terms of substance, quality of discussions, quality also of the moderating. The moderators were extremely good too. So I think it was a good conference, and also I think the chemistry of the conference, the participants, is good. The atmosphere, I think, is positive.
And what do you think the messages are from the conference? What have we learned?
Fundamentally, a message of hope in this general environment of pessimism. Pessimism not only in Europe or in the United States, but even in emerging countries, pessimism is there because obviously if there is a major crisis in Europe, that would spill over into the rest of the world. And this pessimism is fundamentally justified by bad governance, by deficiency in global governance precisely. So in this context, I think the tonality of most messages, including today, Barack,
yes,
is a message of hope, but not naive hope. I think that most of the speakers, I think I have listened almost to all of them, spoke not in a naive way, but they spoke in a constructive way. And that's what's important. And the fact that apparently the European Council was perceived as positive, Jean-David Levitt gave, I think, a masterful
except by the British
debriefing. Yes, but the British are the British. I mean that the situation with the British is not exceptional. If you look at that in historical terms, it's very much the continuity of their position in the European Union history. So on the whole, to have a constructive, positive message in a context of uncertainty because of a deficiency of governance, and our conference is precisely about improving global governance. So for all those reasons, I think we should be satisfied.
But one final question. When you opened the conference, you mentioned the rights of man, droits de l'homme, but you said perhaps it's time to have a new agreement, a new convention, a new treaty for the values of man. What did you mean by that? Because Mary Robinson, for example, the former president of Ireland, I think she was rather taken aback by what you'd said.
Well, she was taken aback, but not so much. I mean, first of all, that was a very friendly provocation. And my provocation, pushed her to make actually a very interesting comment on the Declaration of Human Rights. And the key point that she made, in my judgment, is that human rights, the Declaration of Human Rights, has to be perceived not as one static document, but as a process, a historical process. And I think she is absolutely right. However, and I think even Mary Robinson recognizes that the human rights dimension is one dimension which proceeds from relatively abstract considerations, which themselves are very much culturally rooted. When I speak of values and maybe one day a declaration of universal values, it's certainly not contradictory with attachment to or faithfulness to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Incidentally, I contested the word universal because during the declaration in 1948, when there was this negotiation for the declaration, it was to be called an international declaration of human rights. And it is actually at the very end of the conference that René Cassin proposed to replace the word international by the word universal. But it should have been called International Declaration of Human Rights. So, a universal declaration of values, I think that there are values which fit with all cultures, all religious traditions, and perhaps, trying to formulate those values, for instance, human dignity. If you take human dignity is a concept which is not directly related to the legal concept of human rights. And if you analyze the word human dignity well, you will probably find that it fits with all religions. It fits with Islam, it fits with Buddhism, it fits with Christianism, and so forth and so on. So this is this kind of thing I have in mind. Also, today, most international companies, they have charters of values. Yes. So what I have in mind is something like that, a kind of universal charter of values that all governments, when they work together for global governance purposes, would have in the back of their minds. So this is the sort of thing I have in mind, but of course a lot of work has to be done to make this more precise and operational.
Well, we'll work to it. Thierry DE MONTBRIAL, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.